Question number one comes in from Martin Verstralen. Martin Verstralen asks, how do the Belgian first, second, and maybe even third divisions work? I live here, and even for me, it's so complicated. Thank you, Martin. Alex, I feel like this is the kind of, dull affair that we should bring to your door.
Oh, I'm touched. It is really, really complicated. JJ, do you want to join me and I'll show you what I've got?
Yes. I don't know which way to go. I'll go this way.
Am I being deliberately excluded?
Stress. You want to talk about stress? I've been asked to explain the Belgian league system. Everything is about playoffs, right? So 2009-10, they bring in this playoff system. They get rid of the way the league ran before. So everybody plays each other home and away, right, to start with. And then if they're level on points, they're level on goals, all of that stuff. Then they have a playoff to decide who's in the playoff groups. And then they have the playoff groups and they start in May. And it's 1st to 4th, right? And then it's 5th to 8th. And they play each other home and away. And they've halved the points, right? They've halved the points unless they're level, in which case they don't half the points. Then they play each other home and away, and that decides the final league system. But it's more complicated than that, right? Because for the Europa League, it's 7th to 16th, and then it's the top 4 teams of the B division, right? They all play each other for the Europa League, and the team that finishes 18th, they get relegated, right? But the team that finishes 17th, they have another playoff, and the playoff is against the team that goes in the B division, right? And that's to see who goes in the A division. And at the moment, right, there's only 8 teams in the B division because they changed the number of professional teams, 24. It's only 24 now. But next season, right, from next season, it's going to be another 4 because the under 23 teams finishing in the league system of the 2021-22 under 23 system, they're going to go into the B division as well, but they won't be able to get promoted, right? And that is how complicated it was. And you want to see what it was like in 2015, right? And it was all changed because of COVID, and next season it's all going to be different. And I just...
Was it fun? Do you understand now?
I don't know. I think I liked it. I liked the walk.
The Tifo Football Show.
Question number 2. Madeleine Bourdaz asks us, question, is second season syndrome a real thing for teams promoted from the Championship to the Premier League? Now, this is a very interesting question that we've pondered for some time ourselves here as a gang. So we decided the best person to ask would be Dr. Mark Carey. And Mark is going to explain it to us now. Take it away, Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Carey, and I've been asked, essentially, is second season syndrome a thing for the newly promoted sides to the Premier League? And what I've done is try to answer that. And if we look here, what I've done is look at points per game of all of the promoted sides in the last 10 years in the season that they came up and the subsequent season. So here we've got 18 of the teams who actually did manage to stay up after they subsequently got promoted. So that actually means that 12 came up and then straight back down. And this points per game here, you can see in the red, we've got the first season, and in the blue, we've got the second season. The short answer is that essentially, when we look at it on a points per game basis, 8 of these teams have actually got lower points per game when we look at it from the first season to the second season, which means that 10 have got slightly more points in the second season compared to the first season. So the short answer of is second season syndrome a thing? It's kind of not, it's kind of balanced, but I think there's a little bit more of a wrinkle to it, and I'll explain why. So again, if you look at this, the actual graph, you can see that there's some significant changes in 3 of them really. So we've got Huddersfield Town going from the first season to the second season. We've got Leeds United from when they arrived to currently this season. So it's an ongoing points per game. And we also got Sheffield United from a couple of seasons ago. Now, if we take it in turn, we can sort of explain why, but I think the thing for me is that those three seem to be teams who they came up almost as a bit of a surprise package in their style. And then by the second season, a lot of the opponents have sort of worked them out. So Huddersfield, they were never really sort of getting a lot of points in the first season anyway, but they were a bit of a surprise when they came up from the Championship. They weren't really expected to get promoted at that time anyway. And then 0.4 points per game was dreadful in the second season. But they were, a surprise package. Leeds United, as we all know, Marcelo Bielsa's style at the time was very much known to be fairly unique, a man-marking style off the ball, and they did surprise quite a lot of teams in the first season that they came. And as we know, they're not doing so well this season. Whether or not they get relegated is very much still up for grabs, and whether or not we'll find that out. And Sheffield United, I think they've been a famous one in terms of their second season syndrome. They came in, with the overlapping centre-backs. It was obviously Jack O'Connell and Chris Basham overlapping, and they had a really good first season, and notably a really bad second season. So there's been examples where it has been the case, but I think that the common thread there is when they've sort of been a bit of a surprise package. But ultimately, second season syndrome is not really a thing.
He's good marketing. He's very talented.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Mark Carey. Question number 3 comes in from Cam16012. Cam16012 asks, how could Barcelona buy Ferran Torres? Well, indeed, Cam16012. In fact, how could Barcelona buy anyone? I'm very confused about that, similarly to you. But to unconfuse myself and you, let's find out the answer from the Athletic's Spanish correspondent, Dermot Corrigan. That makes it sound like he's Spanish, but he's the correspondent for Spanish.
He's Irish.
He's Irish.
Yeah. It's very nice.
He's going to tell us now. Take it away, Dermot.
How come Barca can buy players again is a pretty good question, and it's a question that a lot of people have been asking, including some of the other rivals in La Liga. The short version is that they've been able to borrow some more money, they've been able to refinance the debts that they had, which means that they have access to cash to spend, which is why they were able to spend 55 million on Ferran Torres in January, also able to bring in Aubameyang on a free transfer, a loan Adama Traore from Wolves. The problem that they had was trying to get that under La Liga's salary cap, because La Liga are keeping a very close eye on Barca's finances. So what they have been able to do is to persuade players like Adama Traore, like Ferran Torres and like Aubameyang to accept not very much money up front and more money in the future when Barca say that they will have grown their revenues and will have more room under the salary cap. Barca have also negotiated pay cuts and pay deferrals with a good few players as well, including the captains, Piqué and Busquets, and the other captains at the club, and also players who don't even play, like Samuel Umtiti, who's kind of drifted out of the picture completely, hasn't really played at all under Xavi. It's kind of creativity. If you talk to people around Barca or to the agents who are involved as well, the word creativity comes up a lot, and that's the sporting director, Mateo Alemán. He's very good at numbers and very good at making things work, and that's basically how come Barca are able to buy players again.
There we go. Thanks to Dermot.
I learned.
Thanks to Mark Carey and JJ. And one final question to leave you viewers at home with. Answer in the comments. I'd love to know the answer to this one. Do you prefer your family members or dogs? Which one would you choose? Your family members or dogs? And just to clarify, if you choose your family members, all the dogs die.
That's hard.
So you have to put that answer in the comments below, and of course ask us a question for the next show, or indeed future shows. We are reading all of them. If anything, there's too many, so maybe don't do that. But thanks to Alex Stewart, thanks to JJ Bull, and thank you for watching. We'll be back next week with more of the Tifo Football Show. Ta-ra!
You should leave comments, so we need the questions.
There's a lot to read through.
Do your family members die if you pick dogs?
No, but...
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel.
And if you do enjoy Tifo, then you'll probably also like The Athletic. If you watch our tactics videos, you should go and read Michael Cox. If you're into data, read Mark Carey. And if you're into transfers, it's David Ornstein. Plus, if you're a fan of any Premier League team, then there's a journalist dedicated to you, and you can try it for free for 30 days now by clicking the link in the description.